Detroit, we've got the Tigers and the Rays in Game 3 of this 4-game series. A couple teams around 500, but when you look at the postseason picture, if you're willing to do that at this point, both very much in the picture in a crowded American League. Welcome inside. Joe Davis with Brian Anderson. Let's start off with the Tigers. They've won the first 2 games of this series. And J.D. Martinez, Brian, activated during early May off of the disabled list. He's been one of the best hitters in baseball since.
You have to say J.D. Martinez is making up for lost time. You know, he missed the first 7 weeks of the season with a sprained foot, but since coming back into the Tiger lineup, he has gone crazy. I mean, look at the slugging percentage. First in the American League, 11 home runs, 26 driven in. This is a guy that does a great job of covering the entire strike zone, and he's got power everywhere.
Tampa Bay Rays hit a lot of home runs. They've got a guy in Corey Dickerson who really struggled in his first year with the club last year, but he's been great this year.
Corey Dickerson's been so consistent for this team all season long, and when you look at his numbers, it plays out. I mean, he's got 88 hits. That leads the American League. He also leads the American League with 38 extra base hits, which helps explain that .591 slugging percentage, and he is another one of those hitters that is extremely tough to defend because he is a threat from foul line to foul line.
Overcast and muggy today in Detroit as the Rays and Tigers get ready to play Game 3. Here's the lineup for Kevin Cash's squad. Smith is at the top. He's been good since his recent call-up from AAA. Then Dickerson and Longoria hitting third. Morrison, Souza, and Rasmus in the middle. Tim Beckham, the shortstop, hits 7th. Then it's Daniel Robertson and Daniel Norris. The catcher gets his, or Derek Norris, the catcher, gets his first start of this series. All against Michael Fulmer, who dealt with a bout of shoulder bursitis and so makes his first start in 9 days, but the reigning American League Rookie of the Year.
And that'll be interesting to see here this afternoon. Michael Fulmer, because of those extra days off, how sharp will he be in the early going? Because the Rays, one of those offenses that if you're not sharp early, they lead the American League in runs scored in the first inning, so that'll be something to watch for.
How about the defense around Fulmer on this Saturday afternoon? A little bit different look in the outfield. Presley starting in center and Matuk in right. They get J.D. Martinez today as the DH. Victor Martinez, as you might have heard, on the disabled list. Went in yesterday and had an irregular heartbeat. He's been released from the hospital, but will have no baseball activity over the next week plus. Will not travel with the team when they hit the road for their next trip. Well, the Rays have dropped 3 in a row after winning 6 of 7. Up and down season. They've been within 3 games of 500 all year. It's like anytime they gather momentum, they have a stretch like this where they've blown 3 leads in those 3 losses. We're ready to go. Michael Fulmer threw his wind, and his first pitch of the day is in there for strike 1. Tigers back-to-back wins after losing 5 of 6. 3 back in what has been a mediocre Central. Only 2 back in the wild card. Smith hits it hard, but at first Cabrera for the game's first out. How about our keys to the game, Brian?
Well, let's take a look at those keys to the game brought to you by Ford. And it's for Tampa Bay, it's Archer the stopper. You go back to those 3 games that you talked about that the Rays have dropped in a row. They need that their #1 guy, Chris Archer, opening day starter, to go out there and put on a deluxe performance, get this team back to their winning ways. And for Detroit, it's extra. And what I mean by that, extra base hits in this series. They have scored 18 runs on 24 hits. Exactly half of those hits, 12 of them, have been extra base hits. Big reason why they've had the offensive explosion.
Yeah, last night 13 runs. That was the most Tampa Bay's allowed this season as Corey Dickerson climbs in and looks at ball 1. 5-3 Tigers in the opener on a Miguel Cabrera walk-off home run. And then that blowout win last night. Two and 0.
Well, the interesting thing about Michael Fulmer, too, is you can see the fastball already mid to upper 90s. But he's one of the few power pitchers that pitches to contact. Doesn't have overwhelming strikeout numbers. Very efficient in his pitch count. Comes right after guys, pitches to contact.
2-1, has the highest ground ball percentage in the American League Central, right around 50%. We're facing a lineup in Tampa Bay that loves to elevate the ball.
This is going to be a great matchup to watch because you're right. He wants to work down the zone. He wants early contact, uses infielders. And this Tampa Bay Ray team, basically 1 through 9, they look to elevate and drive. Seems to be the trend around the league now.
It's 3-1. Yeah, you see a lot of guys, individual guys, that have adopted that approach, trying to lift. But this is throughout this Tampa Bay order. Number 2 in the majors in home runs. A 3-1 to Corey Dickerson. And a walk with 1 out here in the first.
Corey Dickerson working a walk. On base percentage has been very, very good. And look what he's done in the course of the season. Extra base hits, that leads the way. Has not sacrificed any power. You can see the OPS very high, 15 home runs. And you know, his approach has been so consistent. He has yet to take an offer in back-to-back ball games, and here we are mid-June.
He's aboard with 1 gone, and up comes Evan Longoria. Got off to a slow start this year. Was sitting around 200 after a month. The veteran, former first-round pick, has been better lately.
Yeah, the whole key for Evan Longoria, when he stays in the strike zone with the swing, that's when he's able to drive the ball right center, left center. Of course, you know that he's got power.
Fulmer brings him a 1-0. And Longoria sprays it foul. It's 1-1. .250 home runs in his career. Puts him on the leaderboard among third basemen in the history of the game. Dickerson at first with 1 gone, and Fulmer to Longoria with a 1-1 pitch. Hit hard to third, stopped by Romine. They get it out at second and turn a double play. And so the ground ball machine Fulmer induces 1 to face the minimum in the first. Tigers come to bat for the first time when you come back. First time in this one after scoring 13 runs in last night's game. It's Ian Kinsler to lead it off, then Avila and Cabrera. JD Martinez batting cleanup with Upton and Presley to follow. Romine, Matuk, and Iglesias round out the bottom third. And Chris Archer, the 28-year-old out of North Carolina, Ready to work against Kinsler. Started yesterday's game with a home run. That's strike one for the guy who's second in the American League in strikeouts, behind only Chris Sale.
You know, he's one of those starting pitchers, power guy, that does look for the strikeout, tries to strong arm you, and primarily does it fastball slider.
On the ground to third, easy play Longoria. 1 out.
Take a look at Archer's season numbers. The record and even up 4-4. ERA 3.80, and you see the strikeouts. 114 strikeouts. Opponents average 228. But like I said, I mean, he's a guy that comes right after you. He's got the big fastball, one of the best sliders in the game, and I think early on you'll see that. He'll throw it in the upper 80s, touch 90 with a tremendous amount of depth and an occasional changeup. And when I say occasional, I mean occasional. Doesn't use it very often.
About once every 20 pitches, you'll see a changeup on average from Chris Archer. And it is usually the left-handed hitters like this. Alex Avila. Tigers catcher having a career season in his return to Detroit after spending a year in Chicago. A career .240 hitter coming in. He's hitting .313.
No, he has so much power the other way, and the Rays saw that in last night's ball game, going deep into left field. He can let the ball travel into the zone a little bit longer than some guys.
Lines one into center and a base hit for Avila. This is compared to where he was at last season. And the OPS above 1,000. That makes him an elite hitter at this point, as he's finally gotten healthy. Injuries were a big part of his story over the last half decade.
No question about it. Had some issues with concussions, and you wonder how long that took for him to be cleared out and out of there. And you start to wonder, you see those numbers, if he's not, you know, obviously completely healthy, and the fact that he's being able to do everything, the power, the production, the batting average, complete hitter.
It's the opposite story for Cabrera, who has started to deal with health problems here in his 15th major league season. 34-year-old behind a fastball, strike one. And the walk-off home run in the opener of this series, and then admitted that afterwards that injuries have been a big part of the story. All started with a back injury, groin, hip flexor, oblique, all connected.
And not at all important to a hitter. I mean, it's amazing that he's out there. You start to think about those types of nagging injury, as much torque as he puts his body through with each and every swing. But he said, listen, if I feel like I can go out there and swing the bat, I will be in the lineup.
Didn't serve a single disabled list stint over his first 12 major league years. On this 1-1. Cuts and misses 1 and 2. He's been on the shelf twice since then. Calf injury in 2015. And then the groin put him on the DL in April. Runner at first with one gone. Here in a scoreless first inning. And Archer home 1-2 to strike Cabrera out for the second out.
Well, Chris Archer with the overpowering fastball, and there was a theme right here to this at bat. Let's go pitch by pitch. Gonna go with that fastball elevated in the strike zone. Even up count there, goes right back to it and follows it up with another. 4 heaters, top of the zone, away from Miguel Cabrera, and a little bit tardy on that one to lead to the strikeout.
First of the day for Archer. With 2 gone, it's J.D. Martinez. We talked about off of the top. Since getting activated in early May, after missing the first month plus with a foot strain, he has been one of the best hitters in baseball. And one of the best hitters in baseball since he arrived in Detroit a few years back. Taking it to a new level this year, though.
Yes, he is. Well, listen, you sit out, you know, you missed the first 7 weeks of the season. You've got the bad foot. You're watching your teammates go out there, play day in and day out. You know how productive you've been the last couple of seasons, and you're just itching to get back out there, and he certainly is getting things done here in a big way.
On this 1-1, he tries to lay off and does. Had 2 balls and a strike.
The thing that I love about him is he stands nice and tall up there at the plate. The pitch away, you know, much like we talked about with Alex Avila, he can let that pitch travel because he's strong enough to drive it out into right field, right center. But yet the hands are quick enough that you make a mistake middle in, he can turn and burn on you over to left. A dangerous hitter.
3-1 and a dangerous count for the hitter to be in against Archer. The man at first and 2 gone. Nine-year-old J.D. Martinez takes ball 4, and they're at first and second with 2 out.
And Chris Archer, after falling behind and realizing how hot J.D. is, just was nibbling around the edges of the strike zone, and that leads to a walk and now a scoring opportunity here for the Tigers in the first.
For one of their hottest hitters, Justin Upton. 2 hits last night, 3 more runs batted in, and has knocked in 20 in his last 14 games. First inning chance for the Tigers, and Upton looks at strike 1. It's odd to see Miguel Cabrera 6th on his own team in home runs, but the offense still scoring. So many sources.
Well, that's the thing. When you can get production from a number of different guys in your lineup, it's not 2 or 3 guys that have to carry you for so long. You're getting it from all over the place, and that makes you dangerous. And this team runs per game. They're 3rd in the American League, and right now swinging the bats as well as they have at any point during the season.
Two on, 2 out, and an 0-2. Upton in his 2nd year in Detroit. He signed a big contract last offseason, or 2 off seasons ago, and really struggled over the first half last year. Got it going some in the second half. So far in 2017, he's been the player that the Tigers paid for. Avila's at second and Martinez at first as Archer brings another 0-2, and he takes it for ball 1.
But just a hair off the plate there. You know, Justin Upton, he likes the mistakes middle in. He's got an explosive bat, and Chris Archer, those fastballs away, uses them to try to set up that slider right off of it, and he gets so much depth with it. That's how he rings up most of his strikeouts.
Trying to pitch around a first inning jam, a 1-2, and he went back to the same spot. Upton took it to even the count.
You know, sometimes you can tell how a hitter is feeling at the plate, not by his production, not by his numbers, by how he takes pitches. And those last 2 takes there by Justin Upton, you see a lot of guys waving at that, knowing they got to get it started early. And this inning's already over, but those 2 takes, impressive.
No budge.
None.
Here comes a 2-2, and Upton, this time he budged and offered. So he went back to the well again and got Upton with a slider to get out of a first inning jam. Joe Davis and Brian Anderson back here at Comerica Park as Logan Morrison gets ready to lead it off against Michael Fulmer. 19 home runs, second only to Aaron Judge in baseball, in what has been a breakout season for Logan Morrison.
Well, you look where he was a year ago at this time and where he's at now. The power, 19 homers, 44 driven in, the OPS, a change in approach for Logan Morrison has led to those numbers.
1 ball and 1 strike.
You look at his career, he's lowered his ground ball percentage. We've seen this before with this Rays organization. Same thing happened with Evan Longoria a year ago. More balls in the air, set a career high in home runs. Morrison this season, more balls in the air. He's only 4 off of his career high in home runs and should get that if he stays healthy.
Had one really good season early in his career when he was with the Marlins. A couple of years with the Mariners as well. Facing Fulmer to begin the second. Tigers right-hander home with a 1-2. And Morrison takes ball 2. Souza, Rasmus to follow in the inning. Here's a 2-2. Softly hit foul, will do it again.
Michael Fulmer keeps things pretty simple. Fastball, slider, changeup. He's got a very good changeup. Obviously, we've seen the velocity on the fastball. 4-seam, 2-seam. His 2-seam will get some really good arm side run and sink. 4-seam very firm.
That one tried to tail back over the edge, didn't get it, and now the ball gets him. He's so frustrated in not getting the call.
That is the look of a pitcher. See where it's at. Fastball, that's the 4-seamer right in there. He's expecting that call and starts to walk away. Close enough to call, maybe just a little bit off. Seen that go either way.
Well, Morrison's worked it full to open the second. Fulmer back home with a payoff. He walked him. Second free pass issued by Fulmer. Today we're participating in the Home Run Challenge. Every home run and strikeout in this game raises money for prostate cancer research. And since June 1st, over $3.3 million have been raised in the challenge. You can make a pledge by going to homerunchallenge.org. Both teams wearing the Father's Day uniforms.
Sharp. I like them. Yeah. I'm a blue guy anyway, but you go powder blue. That was the color of my car in college. Baby
nice.
Blue. Yeah. You had to be pretty aggressive to drive that around campus.
I was going to say, I mean, powder blue works on jerseys, on cars.
Not so much.
I'm sure you pulled it off. So the leadoff man on, and here's Souza. Cuts strike 1. Well, you can start feeling the wind picking up some. They said there's a cell that's popped up not too far from here. Some bad weather throughout the Midwest. Originally, they said we were clear here, but watching closely, grounds crew is. Bouncing ball, that's through a base hit. So the first 2 reach for Tampa Bay here in the second.
Well, the Rays trying to make Michael Fulmer pay for the leadoff walk, and that's something that Fulmer's done a great job of. You look at his season numbers and really what jumps out at you. He limits walks, he limits the long ball. He does not hurt himself. And so the leadoff walk there, all of a sudden you're out of the stretch. Souza Jr. gives you the ground ball you're looking for, finds the middle of the field, and now you've got some trouble.
With Colby Rasmus coming up. Fulmer, after a fantastic start this year, was 10 out of 10 in quality starts to begin the season. As he's battling that shoulder issue in June, he's given up 10 runs in 11 1/3. Trying to rediscover that early season form. A jam in the second and getting ball 1 on Rasmus.
And right now, really amping up on the velocity. We know that Michael Fulmer can hit 96, 97 miles an hour with ease. But a lot of times you see him pitching in that 94, 95 range, keep some in reserve, really amped up. And it has been the 9 days. So maybe, almost too strong here in the early going.
Here's his 1-0. That bounces. Yeah, pitchers will talk about that, right? Feeling too good, like you have too much strength, and then you tend to overthrow.
You get a bigger national game. You haven't pitched in 9 days. You're out there letting it fly, and you can see his command already with 2 walks. And this is a guy who doesn't walk a lot of hitters. And you can see his last time out, those 5 earned runs, just 4 1/3, and that was when he said he felt a little something, a little pinch in his shoulder.
Dangerous spot here. 2 on, nobody out, and a 2-0 to Colby Rasmus. Fouled off. 2-1. Rasmus in his first year with the Rays had his worst career year last year in Houston. And since debuting in early May this year, he's having his best offensive season.
Another guy who's changed his approach. When you look at a guy, he was a guy that took pitches. He'd see some pitches, had a lower swing and miss percentage. This year completely different, not taking nearly as many and swinging and missing a lot more, which leads you to believe the Rays have turned him loose and said, you've got a great uppercut swing, another guy that can get the ball in the air, so go out there, don't worry about swinging and missing, go out there and be productive and let it fly. And you can see by his numbers, 9 homers through 35 games, he's doing just that.
Two on, nobody out. And Fulmer ready for a 2-2 to Rasmus. Cut and a miss for strike 3. First punch out of the game for Fulmer, and the first out of the second.
Well, Michael Fulmer finally introducing that split changeup, and there it is, 87. Look at the side spin as it buries itself down and away from Colby Rasmus. You got to pull the trigger. It stays in the zone for so long, and as you start your swing, bye-bye, it's gone.
Brings up Tim Beckham, who is excelling in his first opportunity at an everyday role. Matt Duffy, who they acquired in the Matt Moore trade at the deadline last year, hasn't played this year. They planned on him being the shortstop, but that's opened the door for Beckham, and he's taken off. Strike 1.
Consistent hard contact. He hits the ball hard as consistently as anybody in this lineup. Doesn't always get something to show for it. And he'll swing and miss too, but he's another guy, he's got big strikeout numbers. It kind of sneaks up on you, but at the same time, double digits in home runs. He's hitting over 280. He's been productive.
One of those home runs against Fulmer at the Trop in April. First and second with 1 gone, and an 0-1 that Beckham bangs on the ground to short. Iglesias starts it, and they finish it. Second double play in as many innings for Fulmer and the Tigers. 1 is sponsored by the Hartford. When the unexpected strikes, the Hartford strikes back with small business insurance. And by Ford, we're going further so you can. Back in Detroit, no score. Light rain starting to fall at Comerica. The rain jackets out. I wouldn't think many people brought them today because the forecast was clear. Daniel or Alex Presley leading off the inning against Chris Archer and taking strike 1.
True locals.
Yeah.
True locals know better. You gave me the forecast, and it came from a reputable site, and I thought that's pretty aggressive.
Let's call them out. Weather.com said 0% chance of rain.
Okay, then.
They were wrong. Ball on a strike.
Well, maybe it's just slight. Maybe it moves off to the north.
Let's hope. If it doesn't, they're ready. Archer had to pitch around some first inning traffic. Single and a walk for the Tigers. Sharp bite on that slider, and it's 1-2.
You see how much depth that he gets on that pitch at 89 miles an hour, which is why it makes it one of the best breaking balls that you're going to see in the game. The key for Chris as this game moves along is to maintain that kind of depth and sharpness in the later innings.
Facing Presley starting the second and getting him with another back foot slider for the first out. Start your Father's Day celebration early. The Cubs and the Pirates at 8 Eastern tonight. Check your local listing for the Fox game in your area. Big one going on down in Houston. Red Sox and Astros, two of the top teams in the American League. The Royals and Angels also facing off. So after Archer's third strikeout, the base is empty for Andrew Romine. Rain falling a little bit more steadily now as he pours in a strike. You talk about his dominance early in games. First 2 times through the order, he's one of the best pitchers in baseball. It's that third time through where he typically begins to struggle, and that is when you look at the pitch mix. Probably a product of only having 2 pitches.
You know, I think it's a couple of things, and that's a big factor. You know, he's basically like a guy coming out of the bullpen with a nasty fastball and a sharp slider. I don't think that. Oh, wow.
It bounced and it's tapped to third. They get him with a nice play by Longoria. Presley almost just singled on a pitch that bounced. Or Romine.
Pulling a Corey Dickerson here.
Yeah.
Going after a ball in the dirt. And by the way, that was well out in front of the plate. Comes up there. Playing cricket. Nice play by Evan Longoria, though, to be able to slide his way over there, glove, and throw him out. No, but going back with what we were talking about with Chris Archer, the fastball, the slider, very, very good. But just 2 pitches. Now the third and fourth time through the lineup. Guys start to get wise, obviously. They're wise coming in because I don't think the changeup's a pitch that any hitter is looking for off of Chris Archer. And then you factor in fatigue. So now all of a sudden that slider, not quite as sharp, the fastball location, not quite as good, and all of a sudden the numbers start to go a little bit south. Now the big one right there that you see, the strikeout percentage goes way down. Obviously, opponent's average, walks up, command not quite the same.
Ball on a strike on his former Rays teammate Mikey Matuk. Brings in an 8-game hitting streak for the Tigers. That's for the bases clear. 2 gone in a scoreless game. And lifts a fly ball to right. Back on it goes Rasmus, still going at the wall to make the catch. 1, 2, 3 go the Tigers in the second, and no score through 2. Plate before we get this third inning started. Jerry Meals, the home plate umpire. Michael Fulmer ready to work again. Base runners in both innings against him, but a pair of double plays. This is 8, 9, and 1 in the Rays order with Daniel Robertson to lead it off. That shot to first and caught by Cabrera. 1 pitch and 1 out.
Well, all you can do as a hitter, hit it hard, get the barrel to the baseball. That's what Daniel Robertson did. 1 pitch, 1 out for Michael Fulmer, and you'll see that a lot. You know, he's a guy that fills up the strike zone early as a general rule, and a lot of teams favor going after that first pitch.
Good bearded matchup here.
Oh,
Fulmer against Norris.
A couple of Vikings.
Missed his location, but found the zone. Strike 1. Nice.
I would say that Michael Fulmer's a little better with the manicure. Derek Norris, a true woodsman.
And you're one to be able to judge it. I'm looking at you. You got your own beard going on.
Not that good.
Down the right field line will peel foul, and it's quickly 0-2.
I will tell you this much: having grown the beard through the winter, trimmed it a little bit, to get it out here, that's some time. You got to put some time in. And Derek Norris, what makes him so woodsy? He's got the beard, but then he's got the neck hair too.
I was going to say, yeah.
He's out there to rumble today.
The neared. Fulmer pumps him in 0-2. And ball 1. First year with the Rays, 3 for 28 in this month of June. The Rays can't wait to get Wilson Ramos off of the disabled list. Catcher they acquired from the Nationals. 2-2. Rehabbing right now in AAA, doing well.
Yep.
It's going to be a little bit, a few days still before he's active.
Thinking maybe in the next week and a half or so, somewhere in that time frame, slowly building his stamina up behind the plate. And obviously with all the swatting that goes on, 3 innings, 5 innings, now 7 innings.
Bouncing ball to third. That's Romine. 2 out. There's Kevin Cash, one of the young guns in baseball, in his 3rd season as the manager. And has the Rays at this point sitting at 35 and 35. They're 3rd in the American League East behind the Yankees and the Red Sox, but they're one of 13 teams within 2.5 games of a playoff spot. A second wild card makes all the difference. Second time through the order. Here's Malik Smith. Shows bunt and takes a strike.
That's why Kevin Cash and the Rays organization believe, you start to think about Wilson Ramos coming back and adding that bat to the lineup. Brad Boxberger right now is rehabbing, and if everything continues to go well, add him to the bullpen, which has been a trouble spot for the Rays. Kevin Cash has had a hard time getting the game from the starter to Alex Colomé, the closer, smoothly. There are bits and spurts where he's able to do that just fine, but that's been an issue, and Boxberger would certainly help out there, and you hope that that's one of those boosts that the Rays can then take off a little bit. But everybody looking for that streak. I mean, even the Royals have come back and won 6 games in a row to get themselves back into it, and you see the American League East, New York 11 games up. New York and really the Houston Astros kind of setting the pace, but even so, Boston right there a game back, and then Baltimore's been struggling mightily, and the Blue Jays playing better baseball now that they've got some of their guys back.
Kind of opposite seasons for the Blue Jays and the Orioles. Orioles were the best team in the American League for the first month. They've been the worst team since. Blue Jays got off to a miserable start, but like you said, have climbed back into the picture some. Smith grounds one to first, takes a big bounce on Cabrera, and with a speedster running, they'll never get him. So Smith aboard to keep this 3rd inning alive.
Well, Miguel Cabrera, you can hardly blame him here, trying to get himself a good hop, and that ball just came up violently right off the chest, as if he needs any more aches and pains. That ball came up high, and like you said, Joe, I mean, if that ball, once it breaks free, once it gets free right there, actually hit him right in the throwing hand, you're not going to get Malik Smith. Looked like it got him in the meaty part of the hand. He should be all right. Well, here's where it gets interesting, too, because there has not been a stolen base attempt this season against Michael Fulmer, and this was a situation, 2 outs and a speedster over there at first base. You'd like to send him, but no one's gone on it.
He runs on the first pitch, but it was just a good secondary lead. Too good of a secondary lead, and they've got him hung up. Iglesias, good speed himself, will tag him out, and the Rays run themselves out of a 2-out chance in the third.
Out of the third inning here at Comerica Park, and Malik Smith, we wondered if he would challenge Michael Fulmer, and I don't think that he thought he got a good enough jump. That left foot kind of slid a little bit as he headed towards second base, and he immediately pulled up right there. I don't think he liked his jump, but by then it was too late. That's the thing on the base pass. One little mistake, and they're going to throw behind you. And then, of course, Jose Iglesias able to run him down.
And he leads off this inning against Chris Archer, taking ball one. Archer's allowed a hit and a walk over the first two. 3 strikeouts for the man that's second in the American League, behind only Chris Sale. Total strikeouts this year is 1-0, is a strike.
And we were talking earlier how he does it predominantly with the fastball and the slider. The fact that you can put up those numbers when everybody knows that those are the 2 pitches tells you how high quality they are.
Sliders put in play, but an easy play for Evan Longoria. And Iglesias the first out of the third. Baseball's 2 biggest events of the summer back-to-back, with the action beginning in the T-Mobile Home Run Derby on ESPN, July 10th at 8 p.m. Eastern. And catch baseball's biggest stars at the 88th All-Star Game, presented by MasterCard, July 11th on Fox. Coverage beginning at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. And Kinsler's 0 for 1. He grounded out to third his first time up. Overall numbers the worst of his career, but since coming off of the disabled list for a hamstring injury a couple weeks back, he's been better. Goes after the first one from Archer, and a lazy pop up into short center. Dan Robertson for out number 2.
Both of these offenses realizing that the opposing pitchers got pretty good stuff today. And you see a lot of now early in the count swings. Either guy, Chris Archer's a guy, you expect offenses to come after him early in an at-bat, because with 2 strikes, you just don't have a chance. You look at the numbers that he puts up with 2 strikes, so you don't even want to go there.
Lone hit of the day for the Tigers came from Avila. He was stranded at second. Archer able to strike out Upton. The Tigers' first inning opportunity. Strike 1. Sliders in, 1 ball and 1 strike. Archer, 2013 number 3 in Rookie of the Year voting. He's an All-Star 2 years later, finished top 5 in Cy Young voting, and then last year nothing went his way. He wasn't particularly good, but didn't get much support either. Lost 19 games. That was the most in the majors. Most in Rays franchise history.
Really, it was poor starts, and I don't mean starts as in making a start, early in starts. First inning issues, coming out of the bullpen, not really locked in, a lot of high fastballs early in the game, base runners, and when you give up some runs early, your team's not supporting you offensively, that puts you in line for the loss, and that's what happened. Tell you what, though, he did finish the season strong. And was taking the ball with those 19 losses a number of times where you could hit 20 and it didn't faze him. Still able to go out there and compete.
Gets one by Avila, 3-2. Now in his 5th year as a full-time big leaguer. That was after 7 years in the minors. Drafted out of high school by Cleveland. Twice traded. Once to the Cubs. And then to the Rays in 2011. Made his big league debut 1 year later. Home with a payoff. Line towards center. Smith paused at first. Now watches it bounce. And Mallex Smith, who's given him a jolt offensively, is costing them on defense. Avila read the errant throw and took second.
I'm going to tell you what, Joe, the line drive to center field at Mallex Smith has given him issues here over the last week and a half. And here's another one. The line drive where there's a little bit of a hesitation. See, he's got a beat on it, then he starts to back up, and then almost gets to the point where that ball handcuffs him and bounds away. He was able to corral it, but then the throw in was errant. And so it's that line drive into center field. There was a ball in the game last night, a line drive at him that he had trouble reading that ended up sailing over his head. It was a big hit for the Tigers in that game.
So an opportunity for the Tigers because of the poor defense here in the 3rd, and it brings up Miguel Cabrera. Softly hit along 3rd, charging Longoria with a bare hand gets him. And the Rays able to pitch around it. No score after 3. All zeros up there so far. Rays and Tigers into the fourth. Joe Davis with Brian Anderson in Detroit. And Michael Fulmer back to work against 2, 3, and 4 in the Tampa Bay order. Corey Dickerson was at the plate when last inning ended, with Malik Smith getting caught between first and second. Walked his first time. The American League hits leader, Corey Dickerson. Foul tips it into the mitt, and it's 1-1. Second year with Tampa Bay, came over from the Colorado Rockies. A lot of people thought the numbers he put up there were Coors Field induced, especially when he struggled last year in his first year in Tampa Bay. A pop-up that'll be playable on the left side of the infield for Iglesias. That's actually Romine they keep over there for the first out of the inning. And we welcome inside Joe Davis and Brian Anderson. And you look at the landscape of the American League right now with 13 teams within 2.5 games of a playoff spot. Both these teams, the discussion right now is, they're going to be sellers or are they not? It's hard, right? Because you're not necessarily out of the race, even if you're not having a good year.
No question about it. And you can't give up on the season and become sellers at this point. That's the thing, that there are so many buyers when you think about those 13 teams within the 2.5 games. Who are the sellers? And if you do sell, what message do you send to the clubhouse? And then you start to lose the clubhouse, and maybe it's an ancillary type move, but still it sends that message. Well, do we want to win? Are they trying to win, or are we starting to sell off pieces? And that's not going to play very well downstairs.
I think the tone is probably a little bit different, even though similar situations on the surface. And the Rays have been bad for a couple years now. They're now on the verge of maybe being part of the playoff picture. Whereas the Tigers, they're looking at the back end of the window with this current collection of talent. And the worry around here is, if they don't do the thing correctly, that they're going to be really bad with some really aging contracts quickly, because that farm system is not very good. So how hard do you go after it in a year where they don't necessarily consider themselves the best team in the Central, even though it's down?
Well, then you start to look at the pieces that have value, and how much value do they have? I mean, who are you going to be able to trade off to get the pieces to rebuild the farm system, to be able to have this organization rebuilt? That's the tough part. When you think that some of the contracts, you know, Miguel Cabrera, one of those contracts, Victor Martinez, one of those contracts, and who's going to take that on? If you are able to make those kind of trades, how much do you have to buy down out of that? But you're right, it's a very tough situation. It makes you wonder, are they going to give it one last go, especially in the American League Central, where no one has seized control?
Yeah, they're 2 games below 500, but only 3 games out of first.
Well, everybody keeps saying, how long is Minnesota going to be able to, stay up at the top before they fall back? When is Cleveland going to get their footing and take off? Because they seem to be the big favorites coming into the season, but you're 62 games in. Is this who you are?
Yeah.
I mean, this is all internal stuff that is being talked about at the very highest levels of all of these organizations, trying to figure out the plan of action.
1 ball, no strikes on Logan Morrison. It's cracked foul, and it's 1-1. Just on the surface, looking at a 32-34 record, especially when the story coming into the year was, hey, if they're not really looking good, this team is probably going to sell. Just looking at the 32-34 record, it's a no-brainer. But then you wrap the context of the division and of the league as a whole around it, and there's some tough decisions coming. The Tigers are able to keep winning like they have in the first 2 games of this series. They dropped 5 of 6 coming into this series, and it was kind of looking like, okay, Zalavila, general manager, starting to look like, okay, probably going to be sellers, but then they start to inject some more hope. Back-to-back wins here, trying to make one more push.
Well, these guys are definitely burning up the phone lines, kicking some tires, but they still have a little bit more time before they've got to pull the trigger and make a decision. And typically, what do they say in this game? Those things have a tendency of working themselves out. And by the time you get to decision, a lot of times it's pretty apparent what you need to do.
Fulmer trying to work his first 1-2-3 inning of the game. Home with a 2-2. Morrison takes it low to run it full.
I'll tell you, Logan Morrison having some quality at bats here against Michael Fulmer, taking some tough pitches, worked a walk his first time up, and right back on the cusp here at 3-2. And at the very least, he's thinking, okay, walk me or leave one out over the plate. I've seen enough pitches, my comfort level's up, try to do some damage.
Drags a bouncing ball off the end of the bat into short right field to throw him out. And then to 1-2-3 inning. No score, bottom 4, and J.D. Martinez with the middle third of the Tigers' order coming up against Chris Archer. Walked Martinez his first time up there. If the Tigers do in fact become sellers, there will be no better bat on the market than this man here. J.D. Martinez in his final year of his contract. It's going to require a lot of money this offseason to get him to a long-term contract, and so the Tigers are sellers. This guy will be on the market. That's ball 1.
And you think teams would be lining up, you know, when you start to think about the home runs in the game now and trying to get more, you know, production out of your lineup. Can DH for you, can play the outfield.
A cue shot that stays inside the bag, and a first out in the 4th. So it brings up Justin Upton, who struck out against Archer his first time.
Well, he struck out on a slider, the 3rd in a row that Archer had thrown in the sequence. And this is a look at some of those sliders here in the early going. That one stays in the zone, but you get the rollover ground ball from Ian Kinsler to start things off. There's the one that ends up getting Justin Upton, high quality, down and in. The one right there he'd like to have back. That ball hit well, not well enough. And then another one that he buries on a lefty. And that's what he does. He will down and away to the righties, down and into the lefties. No fear to throw that pitch.
So it backs up on him for ball 1 on Upton. So there's the breakdown. No change ups yet.
Sticking to script.
Home with a 1-0. Then hits it in the air foul, and it's 1-1. First time he faced the Tigers threw more sliders than he did fastballs, and that is not unheard of for him.
No, especially as you get deeper into counts. You get to 2 strikes, and there are times where he'll have games where he's over 70% sliders. with 2 strikes, but against right-handed hitters, it's such a good pitch for him that, I mean, he's just not afraid to use it in mass quantity.
That one over the plate, and it was fouled back, 1-2. You can leave it over the plate when it's 97 with movement.
Well, isn't that the truth? That's where you can get away with a little bit more mistakes. That's why all these GMs, they talk about power arms and margin for error, spin rate, late movement, explosion. Wouldn't make a habit out of it, though.
Yeah.
Especially the way the ball's flying this year.
1-2. Way up, 2-2. Archer back home. Upton takes a slider away, and the count runs full. Same pitch that he chased for strike 3 his first time up. Archer threw 3 consecutive sliders to that same spot to get him last time.
We had just gotten done, or at least I had just got done talking about how well Justin Upton was taking those sliders,
right,
just in time for him to go after the third.
Fouls this one off. It's usually how it works, right?
Start talking about a guy lifting the ball for power, and all of a sudden he decides to want to lay down a bunt.
Yeah.
Why not? Well, both of these starters here have really settled in, and you get the feeling that they understand it. Got to keep mistakes to a minimum in a ball game like this. So every pitch, you're talking about a lot of concentration and a lot of effort.
A payoff. And we will do it again. Justin Upton made his major league debut when he was 19 years old in 2007. Some really good years in Arizona. He's an MVP candidate. In Atlanta for 2 years, San Diego for 1. Here in the second year of his 6-year, $133 million contract in Detroit. Making Archer work. A 3-2. And he got him with a backup slider that time.
That's exactly what it was. The ball coming out of the hand, you pick up the spin, and you say to yourself, this is going to be a hanger, and I'm going to have a great shot at it. But it was such a backup slider that starts to move in on it. I mean, you know, if you could bottle that pitch up, the number of strikeouts that you would get, because hitters see that ball coming out a little wobbly and they say this is going to get smoked, and all of a sudden it's such a, well, not executed slider. You end up getting a strikeout on it. Chris Archer will take that either way.
2 up, 2 down. Here's Alex Presley. You know, Trevor Bauer in Cleveland claims a backup slider is one of his pitches.
Of course he does.
Yeah, he says he has as many as 19 when he has them all working. And a backup slider, which technically is normally a mistake,
yes,
is one of them.
Well, he's not, I mean, he's smart in the sense that those backup sliders you can get away with from time to time. But all of those pitches, you know, to claim that you have that, I mean,
you're not trying to throw
no
the backup slider.
No, how would you differentiate? Yeah, I'm a little bit of a cocked wrist this way. I'm not going to roll over it quite as, you know, with as much force. Just kind of roll this one. Guys don't like to give away their trade secrets, and so they'll tell you whatever you need to hear. If as long as they put that in your mind that that may be a weapon that they have or don't have. And Trevor Bauer can be colorful from time to time.
It's 3-1. I mean, I was going to say, if there was anybody that is analytical enough to differentiate and come up with a way to have a backup slider be one of his pitches, it may be Trevor Bauer.
Could be. He could also be the guy that would be the only one to make that up. He's got all his bases covered. That's what you never know.
Here's the 3-1, and Presley pops it up. That'll reach the seats, full count. Pitchers duel going in this one. Fulmer and Archer, who's through his line, home with a 3-2 to get him swinging. Back-to-back strikeouts. He's retired 10 of the last 11 that he's faced. This one is sponsored by Falcon Tires, the official tire of Major League Baseball. And by Ford, we're going further so you can. Back at Comerica, no score. Michael Fulmer and Chris Archer going head-to-head in this one. And putting up zeros as we roll into the 5th. Steven Souza Jr., the 5-hitter. It's one of the 2 Tampa Bay hits today. Swings at the first pitch and dumps it back.
Well, both of these guys have really settled in and settled in well. Mistakes to a minimum, and that's why as a hitter you're looking for that one. Take advantage of it, try to jumpstart the offense because it's been pretty non-existent here through the first 4.
And a good sign for the Tigers and for Tiger fans seeing Fulmer bounce back the way that he has. Give it up 10 runs over 11 1/3 in June prior to this outing.
Look at this changeup again, keeping it in the zone for such a long time. The change of speed and the finish is what gets Souza out in front and over the top.
He strikes him out, going back to the fastball to the outside corner.
I'll tell you, the way that he just worked Souza Jr. over, you just talk about a guy that's locked in. Fastball down and away, strike 1, change up middle, strike 2, and then how about that pitch? A little bit of arm side run off the plate, comes right back to the corner, or close enough to call. That's what happens. You know, when you get some of these pitchers out there that are consistently around the zone and can show that they can do that with regularity, they'll start to get, that plate will start to widen just a little bit. You'll get those borderline pitches.
Base is empty for Rasmus, and he corks a line drive, base hit. Matuk sprints over to try and cut it off, but his juggle allows Rasmus to get into second. So a runner in scoring position for Tampa Bay with 1 gone in the 5th.
Well, another Rays hitter not wanting to wait around on Michael Fulmer, and that's Colby Rasmus. Got a pitch up, out over the plate. Looked like it was trying to move in close to him. Quick hands. And I'll tell you, if Mikey Matuk gets to that clean, they've got a chance. They've got a chance at a play at second base, but the bobble ends up costing them. Rasmus now in scoring position with 1 out.
For Tim Beckham in a scoreless game in the 5th. Grounded into a double play his first time, but red hot lately. Close to 400 over the last few weeks. strike one. Lay it on a fastball. Rays fans know Beckham's story well. Former first overall pick. Honoring his father on this Father's Day weekend.
I'm not usually a big fan of the sticker eye black. I like the grease, but that's pretty solid right there.
Sharp. Beckham toiled away in the minors for a long time. Many that put the bust label on him, many that still will, because he's not an all-star after being a first overall pick. But he's proven to be a solid everyday player in his first opportunity.
You know, that's what you have to focus on. He comes into spring training thinking, you know, I'm probably going to make the team. I should make the team, but what role am I going to have? Utility guy. My playing time is going to be sparse. But all of a sudden, you know, Matt Duffy's not able to come out of spring training healthy. And so he's thrust into that role. And you're right, he has really handled himself quite well.
9 years after he was drafted, he's
Wow.
getting his first everyday chance. There's the change, and it's 1-2.
Boy, another good change up here by Fulmer. We're seeing more and more of that pitch as the game moves along. And why not? Look at the location and the action on that pitch. He can get you two different ways, two different planes. Change of speed, you're out in front, and it's below your bat.
Beckham, a guy that strikes out a lot, behind in the count 1-2. Rasmus at second with one gone and a scoreless fifth. Inside with a change this time.
You go change up, middle down, strike two. Change up, middle in, off the plate. All of a sudden now you start thinking maybe that four-seam fastball away. Try to just overpower him with the pitch that's up and away. You've slowed him down. You've moved the pitches in. That's exactly what they tried to do. Just didn't execute it. That's where execution comes down. You know, you can have the greatest plan, but you've got to be able to execute it. And I thought that was the right pitch, the right time, but just sprayed it high.
And so the count full on Beckham. Rays with a runner in scoring position for the first time since the second on the Rasmus double. After falling behind 1-2, Beckham earns the walk. Third of the day issued by Fulmer, and they're at first and second now. This summer, some of the biggest names in basketball: Iverson, Chauncey Billups, Kenyon Martin, plenty others head out on a 10-city professional 3-on-3 battle. Ice Cube presents Big Three Basketball, changing the game starting June 26th only on FS1.
But you start to read about that league too. They're not messing around.
No.
I mean, these guys are in it to win it. It's gonna be fun.
A couple former Pistons in that. Iverson, Chauncey Billups. 2 on with 1 out, and here is Daniel Robertson. Hit it hard his first time, but caught it first by Cabrera. Hits this one hard into center for a base hit. Rasmus given the wave. Presley's throw goes to third, and an RBI single for Daniel Robertson starts the scoring. He takes second as the throw goes in late, trying to get Beckham. 1-0 Tampa Bay.
Boy, taking advantage. First pitch again for Daniel Robinson. Slider stays up. He stays in the middle of the field. Right here, right off the bat, base hit. They're going to send Rasmus the entire way. But Alex Presley, in trying to cut down Tim Beckham, you see Beckham's coming around second and heading to third, and Presley, his throw trying to get him, then allows Robertson to move up to second base. So now no more double play. That's not in order anymore, and still with 1 out, runners on second and third. See if the Rays can cash in on that mistake.
With a 9-hitter, Derek Norris coming up. Rays trying to get back on track. 3 consecutive losses after they had won 6 of 7. They've been within 3 games of the 500 mark all year. The only team in baseball that can claim that. Very much in the picture at this point, with reinforcements coming for Kevin Cash off of the disabled list. Fulmer pitches 1-0, and Norris takes a strike.
Oh, Michael Fulmer right now, more than anything else, especially with the way that Chris Archer's throwing the ball, he needs a strikeout. The thing is, when you're out there on the mound right now, you can't think strikeout. There's a process. You get to 2 strikes, then you start thinking how you put a guy away. But until then, it's all about making pitches. Can't get too far ahead of yourself.
Ahead of the count, 1-2 with a wild swing from Norris, helping him out.
And now you can.
Yeah.
You've got a hitter right there that really just expanded his zone. And you're in the catbird seat at 1-2, and now is when you start to think, what can I do to miss the bat and get this strikeout? That's the thing about Fulmer. He will pitch to contact, but when he needs a strikeout, he's got the stuff to be able to go and get it.
Beckham at third, Robertson at second, and Fulmer's 1-2 in the dirt. Big stop by Avila.
Goalie.
Had to be.
You'd better believe it. You've got Tim Beckham down there at third base, and that ball well short. Avila not only has to block it, but keep it in front, smother it.
Robertson's RBI single has the Rays in front. 5th inning against Fulmer. He's ready for the 2-2.
When you speed a hitter back up, elevated heater out over the plate, and all of a sudden you start to think you're watching this game, and you get the feeling that Michael Fulmer right now is more comfortable with the changeup than he is the slider. The slider being the hit that Robertson got into center field. So if you're going to go off speed here, you would expect it to be changeup to Norris once again. Reestablish that fastball, reestablish the velocity, and then slow him back down.
2 on with 1 out and a 2-2. He did go to the change, and Norris a good take to run it full.
Very good take.
Top of the order, Mallex Smith due next. Rays trying to add on against Fulmer here in the 5th inning. Three-two. Back to the change, and this time it worked.
You get a lot of pitchers with that mindset that whatever I go with on 2-2, I'm going to go with on 3-2, and that's exactly what he did. Missed with the 2-2 change, comes back with the 3-2, maybe the best of the bunch, and he does get that much-needed strikeout.
His 3rd of the day. With runners at 2nd and 3rd, it's Mallex Smith, who's 1 for 2. Third inning single for Smith means that he now has a hit in all 9 games that he's played in since he was called back up from AAA Durham. The Kevin Kiermaier injury. He is not Kiermaier defensively, but so far he's been even better on the offensive side.
Very dynamic. You know, this is a guy that in that time frame has 3 bunt hits. He'll use the left side of the field. We've seen him hit a home run. So he's got some occasional power, and he'll work at bats. He'll take walks. He brings a lot to the table offensively, and he's shown it all off here the last 9 games.
An 0-1 to him. Bouncing ball to first, and on a tough bounce, Cabrera's got it to end the inning. But the Rays break through on a base hit from Robertson, halfway home in a 1-0 game. inspire all forms of baseball and softball participation, making play opportunities available and fun for everyone. Go to playball.org to learn more. Chris Archer, 4 shutout innings, facing the bottom third of the Detroit order here and missing with ball 1 to Romine. Archer 5 punch outs. He's walked 1. He's allowed 2 hits and now pitches with a lead for the first time today. One and one.
And this is the inning that, you know, everybody says, well, you want to go out there and throw up a 0. Of course you do. You want to do that every inning. But this is an inning where the nature of this ball game, Chris Archer needs to go out and send a message this inning. Hey, Detroit, you're not getting back in this. I'm too good today.
And when he's feeling right, send a message like not a lot of guys can with that overpowering stuff. Saw it in the World Baseball Classic on a big stage, dominant in his few innings of work for Team USA. It's a little bit low and it's 2-2. He's fun to watch pitch when he's feeling good.
Well, the stuff speaks for itself, and he can be very demonstrative, energetic out there on the mound.
His 2-2 is a slider that's fouled off by Romine.
Has a tendency to wear his emotions on his sleeve. You can tell when he wanted to pitch and when he, you know, pitch that's just off that doesn't go his way. He'll give you the occasional pirouette coming off the mound.
Oh yeah. Andrew Romine starting the 5th. With a soft liner that gets over Beckham.
Pulls back, wasn't able to cover that much ground, and then that ball is able to get over the glove.
So Romine's aboard, and here's Mikey Matuk. Slide out to the wall and right his first time up. 1-0. Came over this offseason from Tampa Bay. Made his major league debut. And has played an important role in the outfield for the Tigers with some injury issues they've had out there, some underperformance. Has opened the door for him to have a shot and earning a more significant role for Brad Ausmus.
You get your feet wet with one team. And I know that Mikey really liked it with the Rays, and all of a sudden you're not with that organization anymore. You go somewhere new, new teammates, and you put it in your mind, now you've got something to prove. And with that opportunity, you start to try and show these guys what you're capable of and become a bigger and bigger part of their plans.
Former LSU Tigers star on 1-0 takes ball 2.
He's a versatile guy. You know, you can move him around the outfield, the different positions.
Under at first, nobody out. A 2-0. And a high drive down the right field line that's foul. Strike 1. Tigers have won the first 2 games of this series. Walk-off fashion on Thursday night. Blowout fashion last night. So back-to-back wins after losing 5 of 6. Trying to figure out who they are, what they are as the deadline approaches. Two balls and a strike. Fletcher checks on Romine.
There's 5 stolen base attempts against Chris Archer, 3 of them successful. Tigers not a big running team, and when they do run, not a very successful team, just over 50%.
Archer fell behind 2-0. Got a foul ball and then painted a fastball to even the count at 2-2. 5 strikeouts, 1 walk. Tigers only 3 hits against him, all singles. Now the 2-2. And a hanging breaking pitch that gets Matuk swinging. He got away with one there.
Yeah, that's the mistake that you need to take advantage of if you want to put a dent in Chris Archer's game. That's a hanger out over the plate. He gets Mikey Matuk with it. Let's take a look at the other 5 strikeouts by Chris Archer in this game. Miguel Cabrera, and then he's going to go pick on his 2 favorites here, Upton and Presley. Gets Upton the slider there, Presley with the slider down and in, right back to Upton on the backup, the Trevor Bauer edition. And then he gets Presley once again. So expanding his horizons now and getting Mikey Matuk.
Now 120 strikeouts on the year for Archer. And the 9-hitter Jose Iglesias stands in with a man at first and 1 out. Archer comes home and a slider swung on and missed for strike 1.
You give a little bit of something away with a swing like that, because that was like a wave. That tells me that Jose Iglesias really had trouble picking up the spin on that pitch. Didn't have a whole lot of conviction on that swing.
Tap back to the mound. Archer stumbles to get it and will go to first for the out.
Boy, that hurts right there for Chris Archer. If he's able to keep his feet somehow, at least you could turn and get the lead runner at second. But the little bit of a stumble now gives the Tigers a scoring opportunity. It's behind him. If he's able to stay on his feet, you're at least going to get the lead runner at second base. He doesn't do that. Let's see what goes wrong here. Now just had to reach back across his body and couldn't get that left foot down. But what that does is it brings Ian Kinsler to the plate here. 2 outs, but a chance to tie this game up.
Even the really good athletes, that mound can be difficult. Archer was a high school quarterback, had some opportunities to play collegiately. Decided instead to sign with the Indians when they drafted him 11 years ago. So it is Kinsler with a tying run at second and 2 gone in the 5th. Take strike 1. And Kinsler, 35th birthday coming up this week.
Always a threat too. Look how close he is to the plate. High hands, not afraid to ambush, will look to lift. Well, the Rays saw that in the ball game last night. Led the game off Erasmo Ramirez with a leadoff home run. Got Erasmo Ramirez earlier in the season in April at Tropicana Field on a leadoff home run.
So 2 of his 5 total this year. One of his numbers down. On 1-1, he takes ball 2. So this is the part of the order, the time of the game where Chris Archer typically starts to struggle. 3rd trip to the Tigers lineup. He's number 2 in the American League the first 2 times through the order. Only Irvin Santana of the Twins is better as far as batting average against, but struggles the 3rd time through with that 2-pitch mix. 2-2.
When you go back to just the 2 pitches, I don't think that we've seen a changeup yet today. And if we have, maybe one, but I don't think that we've even seen one. But then on top of that, you go back to the slider to Matuk, a different looking slider than we've seen the first 4+ innings. And that's what ends up happening. There's a tendency for it to flatten out just a little bit. And then you also factor in just the 2 pitches for the most part. And like I said, even if you have a guy that, like Chris Archer today, even if he's sprinkled in a handful of changeups, name me one Tiger hitter that's going to, go up there and have that in the back of their mind. You completely disregard that pitch. You're worried about the fastball or the slider.
With the tying run at second, 2 gone in the 5th, another 2-2 to Ian Kinsler. Cannon challenged him again, and it's hit foul. And Kinsler, 12 years in the majors. On his 4th year with the Tigers, came over in the Prince Fielder deal. Pitchers duel between these guys. Rays finally breaking through against Fulmer in the top of this inning. Tigers knocking on the door against Archer here in the bottom half. A slider. He checks his swing and runs it full.
Let's take a look where this pitch is. Down and away. Ooh, so close. And then Kinsler absolutely held up there. Nice job by him.
First base is open, but Avila on deck has 2 hits against Archer today. The 3-2. Hit foul by third.
All right, good battle going here between Archer and Kinsler in a meaningful spot. Detroit looking for an immediate answer to the Rays' run in the top half of the inning. And they've got a chance here.
Romine at second, and on the 9th pitch of the at-bat. Line towards left. That ball is deep and off the wall. Ian Kinsler has tied the game with a 2-out double.
Well, that was an example. Chris Archer going with the slider, and this one just hangs a little bit, stays in the middle of the plate. And instead of being the put-away slider down and off the plate, that slider stays middle. And Ian Kinsler, who had a long at-bat, have seen a lot of pitches, he lines that thing, and it's that close. Maybe a foot, foot and a half from getting out of here. And the Tigers have come right back and immediately answered the Rays.
So both teams getting a run here in the 5th inning, and the go-ahead run in scoring position just like that as Avila comes up, having singled both times against Archer already today. A strike. Quickly 0-2. Hardest he's had to work yet. Pitch count was pretty efficient through the first 4. This will be his 25th pitch of the 5th. One and two. With Kinsler at second and 2 gone. Alex Avila takes in the dirt. Kinsler takes off and gets third.
And he gets third because of the shift. Evan Longoria so far off of third base. A great block here by Norris. And he keeps it close. You see the shift where Evan Longoria is. The ball in the dirt, read by Kinsler, but he's not going to be there in time, and Derek Norris does not want to risk the throw and maybe give the Rays the lead with something that goes errant. Or the Tigers, either one.
I know what you meant. 2-2 on Avila with a runner at third now. Archer has to keep that in the back of his mind with that big slider of his. Trust Derek Norris. The 2-2. And he struck him out with a sharp slider to end the inning. Archer and Fulmer both good in this one. They put up 4 shutout innings. The offense is finally breaking through in the 5th. 10 Soldiers and 1-1 to the 6th. Onto the strikeouts and walks. A 1-1 game. On to the 6th. You guys have both been impressive. Each cracking and allowing a run in the 5th inning. Michael Fulmer back out there with 2, 3, and 4 in the Tampa Bay order coming up. This is Corey Dickerson. And that is strike 1.
Oh, right back where we started. Just an inning ago. Michael Fulmer gets a little bit of new life courtesy of the bottom of his order getting it started. The big hit on the full count by Ian Kinsler.
Dickerson climbs the ladder and fouls it off 0-2. There is not much that Corey Dickerson can't at least get his bat on.
It's remarkable. You know, when you look at Corey Dickerson, of all the hitters in the big leagues, he swings at more pitches outside of the zone than anybody. And yet at the same time, the numbers show up. I mean, he chases, but he's able to spoil pitches, foul pitches off, eventually get a mistake, and then take full advantage.
Softly hit. Fulmer goes up to get it. Dickerson the first out of the 6th. Final round coverage of the 117th U.S. Open Championship from Erin Hills as the world's greatest players battle to be crowned America's champion, starting at 11 a.m. Eastern on Fox. You can watch it live on Fox Sports Go. What a way to spend a Father's Day tomorrow watching that. As it comes to a close, first U.S. Open in Wisconsin. This one's tied at 1 in the 6th. With the bases empty and 1 out, it's Longoria. Ball 1. Look out, everybody, including Jeremy Eels. Home plate umpire had to duck out of the way.
Not expecting that. And Alex Avila maybe check the webbing of that catcher's mitt. Break right through, Little League style.
It's 2-0. Boy, you have to, as a catcher, your stomach has to churn when that thing gets by. You can't let the umpire get hit. And on a fastball, Avila lucked out, though. It missed Meals.
Yeah, how small that strike zone gets?
Yeah, exactly. On the ground of the hole, it's short. Iglesias from the outfield grass in time to get Longoria. One of the game's best, Jose Iglesias.
Well, he had a heck of a game last night defensively. What about this? Slide down. Now pop up. Now you got to make the throw. Guys hustling down the line. Evan Longoria, and just in time. I'll tell you what, this is the defense from last night. Watch how quickly he gets rid of this ground ball. In and out of the glove with Peter Borges with speed running. That's as good as you're going to get. And then he's going to follow that up with this. How much ground that he had to cover, and I love the fact that he didn't throw that glove up there until the last possible second so he could maintain his speed on a tough play.
Logan Morrison looks at ball one, and then in that same inning, Justin Upton went up and robbed a home run.
Yeah, the ground ball that we just saw, the pop-up, and then Upton goes over the wall to rob Corey Dickerson. All three of those plays took place in 6 pitches.
That tails in. It's 1-1.
And that came in the top half of the inning after in the bottom half, the Tigers had put up 5 runs, had a 5-run inning, took control of the game, and then all of a sudden that inning happens, and at that point you're like, this game's over.
Tigers won that one 13-4. Much different personality to this one. Morrison hits a pop-up into left center field. It's Presley to put an end to the inning. Out of the bottom of the 6th. Nice night here in Detroit. Locked at 1. Inning run to the bottom of the 6th, tied at 1 in Detroit. Joe Davis and Brian Anderson, game 3 of this series, with the Tigers taking the first 2. Chris Archer back to the mound to face 3, 4, and 5. It's Miguel Cabrera to lead it off. He has attacked the Tigers slugger with fastballs so far today. Attacks him with one here, and it's pounded the other way. Right center field. Miguel Cabrera has put the Tigers in front. Still got some pop left in that bat.
And that's the risk that you run. You continue to attack a hitter of Miguel Cabrera's caliber with the same pitch. That's a four-seamer. You can see Derek Norris reaching back across the plate, catches too much plate, and Miguel Cabrera with that up-the-middle, other-way approach with power is going to make you pay. And how about that? Just like that, the Tigers out in front.
453rd in his glorious career. His second in this series. He went nearly a month without hitting one. JD Martinez looks at a strike. Picked a good spot to hit his first in a while, though. It's a walk-off shot to the similar part of the park on Thursday night.
Similar pitch, similar velocity, similar ending.
Now then, 2 on Martinez.
You go back to that first at bat, Miguel Cabrera got beat on 3 straight heaters, like you said, Joe, and no hitter likes to get beat on fastballs, 4-seam fastballs here, here, here. And so you know that that was in the back of his mind. If I get another chance, I'm going to have an answer.
On the ground at third. Longoria circled around it, and it snuck by him. So Martinez aboard of the Longoria air. Time for a game break. Hello, Kevin Burkhardt. Third consecutive win for the Indians, Kevin. Everybody's kind of wondering, when is Cleveland going to get going? Maybe this is the stretch where they do.
Well, they've got another game to try to put some distance between themselves and the Twins, but it has been an interesting year, and we've talked about it a couple different times during this game.
Upton hits one in the air to right, and Erasmus camps under it for the first out.
You know, the Indians, you think about Corey Kluber back healthy, Carlos Carrasco, what he's what he can do, and then Danny Salazar, a guy that they've got to get right. You know, their bullpen best in baseball. I know Andrew Miller's had a couple of hiccups here recently, but overall that bullpen is a shutdown, lockdown bullpen. If they get their starting pitching going, they're going to score enough runs. But like I said earlier, we're 3 games now for them in that range, mid-60s into the season. You wonder when it's going to happen.
Trying to move into first place by themselves for the first time since early May. Strike 1 on Presley. Terry Francona had a tirade last week when the team was in Colorado after they got swept in a 2-game series by the Rockies. Said his biggest blow up since he was managing the Phillies in some of their lean days.
Well, he has such a good feel on when that becomes necessary, because managers do not like to go to that card too often. If you do, you're probably a really bad team, and so you've got to be strategic and when you pick your spot to do that. And I think at that point Terry Francona had had enough, obviously. Well, they've picked it up.
Runner at first with 1 gone. Presley takes ball 2. Following day they had meeting after meeting after meeting. Francona rolled him in there. His leaders, each one of his coaches, just hashed everything out, trying to figure what the issue may be. Terry Francona put himself out there and asked, is it me? Am I managing differently? And wanted to get the pulse, really the inside of that clubhouse from his players. Asked them, are we okay? And they all assured him yes, that a run like this was coming soon.
You love the accountability, for even him putting himself out there. A guy that's not all about pointing the fingers but can look within. That's how you get better. It doesn't matter if you're a manager, a player, umpire, us in the booth.
Hard hit, base hit. Martinez an aggressive turn. Smith more adventures in center, and they're at the corners with 1 out.
Well, another hard hit ball here by the Tigers, the third time through. We highlight it, and here it has come to fruition. It started right at the top with Ian Kinsler with the big double to tie the game. Alex Presley back up the middle with a hard hit ball. Mallex Smith, that ball off the heel of the glove. It's not been fun out there for him today. Alex Smith, well, this is getting picked off today. A little bit of a slip, trying to get some footing there to attempt a stolen base, and he'd get picked off right there, got caught. A tough read. That throw in by Mallex Smith went awry and allowed Avila to get into second base, but a tough read down at first base, and a tough day.
At the corners with one out, it's Romine taking strike one. Tigers trying to add on to this newfound lead. Rays got the game's first run in the top of the fifth. Back-to-back single-run innings for the Tigers here. But Martinez at third and Presley at first with one out. Archer would love a ground ball here to limit the damage. 0-2.
And now you can open up your options. Ground ball would be great to get to. A strikeout, you take that also, and that third time through has come to fruition here. Tigers, both of their runs courtesy of the third time through, and looking for more.
That one kicks away. They said that he offered on the swing, or they say no swing, actually. And in the second goes Presley, so second and third. And Romine still alive.
You come with that slider down and in, and you get the secondary lead, read the pitch that gets away from Derek Norris far enough. And Alex Presley with his speed takes it into second base, and now a little bit more dire. That double play off the table. Now you go strikeout.
Archer's as good as anybody at getting them. His 8th of the day, 2 out.
Romine not at all happy because that slider stayed up and out over, but regardless, he gets the result he needed.
Now 97 pitches into his outing as he gets ready to face the 8-hitter Mikey Matuk. A big at-bat in this game coming right here. Tigers have gone in front in the Cabrera home run. But an opportunity for Matuk with men at second and third and 2 gone. Ball one.
For Chris Archer, you face Mikey Matuk in this situation as if he'll be the last guy that you're going to pitch to for the next 5 or 6 days. That's just got to be the mindset. The tank has got to be emptied here, regardless of whether he comes out in the 7th inning. This is the ball game right here.
His 1-0. Sharp, 1-1.
Yeah, well, that's absolutely right. Off the table sharp.
Hey, we avoided that storm. I guess that storm avoided us.
Slid off to the north, and now there's sunshine.
Got a fastball by him at 97, and it looks like he's doing exactly what you talked about, emptying that tank. Action down in the Rays bullpen. Tigers have got Michael Fulmer a lead. better today than his first 2 starts in June. Pitching well off of the extended rest. Hoping Mata can get him a bigger lead here. 2 on with 2 out. Time call.
Everything getting a little bit stale. Don't like to stay in that batting stance for too long, as Chris Archer kind of slow playing this last pitch, looking to end this inning.
Little bit low with a fastball. Ball 2.
98 too. That may have been his best velocity of the night, which is impressive. We're talking about over 100 pitches in, and he buries this thing. Absolutely could have been called.
See what he goes back to on 2-2. Buried a slider, full count. Nice stop, Norris.
Look at Chris Archer, 6 wild pitches on the season because of that slider and the way that he will bury it from time to time. But Derek Norris been pretty good today, especially right there with that runner down to third.
Likely nearing the end of his outing. 2nd and 3rd and 2 gone. His 104th pitch of the night is a 3-2 to Mikey Mata. Ground ball stopped at third by Longoria. His running throw gets him and ends the inning. But the Tigers have their first lead of the game. Old faithful Miguel Cabrera, his 2nd home run of the weekend. It's 2-1 on to the 7th. Rays playing from behind for the first time in this one. Michael Fulmer back out there with a 2-1 advantage. Steven Souza Jr. out of the 5 spot. Strike 1. So Rays lineup that can strike in a hurry. Number 2 in the majors in home runs. Souza has a dozen.
Got off to a real quick start. Beginning of the season, cooled down a little bit, and then it started to pick the pace back up.
Nothing in 2.
That's the thing with the Rays. They don't rely on just a couple of guys for all the power and the production. Up and down the lineup, guys are capable.
Looks like the day's finish for Archer. Two most efficient outings of the season through 6 innings for Michael Fulmer have been his 2 outings against the Rays. On his 84th pitch, It's a 1-2. It's high and away. It's a little bit interesting because the Rays, they walk a lot. That takes pitches to do. They strike out a lot. That takes pitches to do. Jumbo Diaz getting loose, but he's been very efficient both times he's seen them.
Well, you know, outside of today, he really doesn't walk a lot of guys. Yeah, I mean, 3 walks, and it's pretty amazing that he still has his pitch count in this well of order with those 3 walks. But he's a guy that pounds the zone, and the Rays, if you prove to them that you're going to be in and around the zone consistently, they're going to turn it loose. They're going to become aggressive. So if you're able to make your pitches, you are going to be able to have some quick innings, and that's what Fulmer has done. Plus stuff, pitch to contact, be efficient. He's a tough customer.
Full count on Souza, through 99 that time. That might be the first time we've seen him touch that today.
Really tried to hump up because he was coming in on Souza. When you've got a guy with power and you're throwing a fastball in late in the game in a 1-run game, you're gonna hump up on it and try to give it the best shot you can because it's a risky pitch.
Full count on Souza, starting the 7th. Fulmer back downhill. He walked him to lead off the inning. How about our Budweiser game summary for this one? Both teams getting a single run in the 5th inning. Archer gave up 1 more in the 6th, then a Miguel Cabrera home run. And so Michael Fulmer is in position to win this game if he can take care of business moving forward.
You put yourself a little behind the 8 ball when you start off the inning in a count that you were well in control of. And then all of a sudden you lose Souza Jr. and here comes Colby Rasmus.
Who has some pop himself. 9 home runs in his first month and a half this year. That's ball 1. Fulmer's first walk since the 2nd inning. 3 walks matches a season high. Tying run at first. Go ahead run at the plate. The 1-0. Rasmus takes a strike. Former first-round pick of the Cardinals. Long-time top prospect there. St. Louis to Toronto to Houston. Now with his 4th team. Going outside with a 1-1. It's a changeup and it's a beauty.
Well, you really couldn't have walked this changeup to the plate any better. And there's the. You see that side spin, and look at that ball just zip right off the plate. That's what makes these secondary pitches so effective, is when you can keep them in the zone for a long time to the point where a hitter has to make a decision to swing. And as they do, that's when the ball starts to tumble out of the zone, whether it's a changeup, slider, curveball, whatever. Those are the most effective and the toughest to defend as a hitter.
He's punched out 3 today. Once it was Rasmus on that exact pitch he threw for strike 2. See if he goes to it again. We've seen him do that multiple times today. Back-to-back change-ups late in the count. That is Alex Wilson getting ready. One of these teams has been good late. Change again, dribbled along first. Fulmer's only play is 2 first. The tying run moves into scoring position. Vote today, vote tomorrow, vote for your 2017 All-Stars with the Esurance MLB All-Star ballot. Go to MLB.com/vote and catch all the excitement of the 88th All-Star Game presented by MasterCard on July 11th on Fox. As it stands in the latest report, the American League leaders Either one of these teams are the representative in the starting 9 of the year Aaron Judge is having in New York.
Remarkable. I mean, really, when you look the batting average, the power, runs batted in, all of the above. And by the way, this was a guy getting down there the last week of spring training. Who was going to be the starting right fielder for the Yankees, Hicks or Judge? It wasn't decided until late.
Tim Beckham with a chance to tie this game in the 7th. Takes ball 1. Judge, the first rookie to lead the American League in all 3 Triple Crown categories this deep into a season ever.
And when you're talking about the history of this game and you drop ever,
yeah,
enough said.
Try to stick it hard with the ever.
You did.
Yeah.
I saw 2 exclamation points right after that.
Souza's at second. Started this inning with a walk. Moved up on the Rasmus ground out. Fulmer very deliberate here, and Beckham will ask for time. Nice change up, 1-1.
Boy, the high leverage situations for Fulmer. Boy, he's gone to the changeup. You can understand why when you see that. I mean, look at that ball just hanging at the top of the zone, ends up burying itself at the bottom of the zone. That'll add a mile an hour or 2 to the fastball. But he has definitely veered towards the changeup away from the slider here lately.
Banged up the middle. Kinsler's there and throws him out. Beckham's the second out. The tying run moves to third. We saw the American League All-Star ballot right now. But the National League, Zach Cozart has overtaken Corey Seager at shortstop. Those 2 guys facing off down in Cincinnati right now. And a couple of Cubs on the list, and Hayward and Bryant. Charlie Blackmon having a monster season for the Rockies, who continue to work deeper into this season with that young pitching staff, proving they're for real in a loaded National League West. So Fulmer, 94 pitches deep, faces the lone man to drive in a run against him today. Daniel Robertson started the scoring with a single in the 5th. Tied him up with strike 1.
Right there was the 3rd pitch that Robertson has seen today. Going after the first pitch, the first 2 ABs. Able to freeze him on the off speed. He took a slider back up the middle, and haven't really seen that pitch since then.
Coming inside. Jam shot to second. Kinsler knocks it down, and this game is tied. Ian Kinsler couldn't grab it. They ruled it a base hit. Souza steps on home, and it's 2-2.
Well, this ball inside out. Kinsler's got a chance to make a play. The ball into the glove, but you could see it kind of rattle around, and once it got away from him, right off the top of that glove, no chance. Boy, he had it in there, right into the pocket, squirted free.
That's a play Tigers fans have come to expect him to make.
You know, you go back to the leadoff walk. Those have a tendency to come around and bite you.
Strike 1 on the 9-hitter Norris. Again, back at square one. Here in the 7th of Game 3 between these teams. Game 6 this year. Home team has won each of the first 5. Rays swept a series at the Trop in April. Tigers taking the first 2 games this weekend. but winds up being left in the bullpen's hands. Flip a coin and cover your eyes. One and one.
And both of these teams trying to sort through bullpen issues. You know, really for the Rays, it's, you know, middle, getting the ball to Alex Colomé. Who can we rely on? Who's going to step up and be that consistent bridge? And for the Tigers, it's really the back end. You know, Francisco Rodriguez was back there as a closer, recently removed from those duties. They're going to Justin Wilson. You've got Green and Alex Wilson trying to bridge that gap. Nasty slider right there by Fulmer. I'll tell you, bullpens can be so fickle. One year you can have the lockdown best bullpen there is, keep the core intact, and the next year it's a coin flip from time to time. Just never know.
In Detroit, they'd take that proposition, rotating between good and bad, because for the Tigers, 10 consecutive years, their bullpen has been worse than the league average.
Boy, and for such a proud, iconic organization, you know, trying everything they can to piece that together in a way that's successful for a decade, it not having happened yet. Got to be frustrating all around, because giving up late leads, so difficult on the morale of a team when it's a sport that you play every single day for 6+ months.
Robertson at first with 2 out. Fulmer's 1-2. That's a base hit to left. Norris with a solid single, and the Rays are at first and second with 2 gone. A go-ahead run in scoring position for the top of the order. Looks like that may do it. Ausmus will make a call to the bullpen. Fulmer's day comes to a close, and it'll be up to the pen to preserve his line.
Get caught up here with the game summary. In the 5th inning, Daniel Robertson smokes a ball into center field, and that's going to give the Rays an early 1-0 lead as Colby Rasmus would come on to score. But in the bottom half of the inning, 2 outs, a runner on second. full count. Ian Kinsler ropes the ball down into the corner, just off the bottom of the wall. That's going to tie it up. And then in the bottom of the 6th inning, Miguel Cabrera, fastball out over. He goes the other way and gives the Tigers a 2-1 lead. And then once again, top of the 7th, trying to answer. Daniel Robertson, that ball just off the glove of Ian Kinsler. Steven Souza Jr. comes home with 2 outs, and that's where we stand right now.
As Alex Wilson comes in, and here it's runners at 1st and 2nd jam. This is his 31st outing this year. He's been pretty reliable for the Tigers the last few years since he came over from Boston. One ball and no strikes on the Rays leadoff man Mallex Smith. It's outside and it's 2-0. Book not yet closed on Fulmer.
He's responsible for those runners on 1st and 2nd base. 6 2/3, 2 earned so far. The 4 walks really jump out at you. That is very un-Fulmer-like.
Season high for him. Wilson's 2-0. Bottom of the zone, strike 1. Robertson at 2nd and Norris at 1st. 3 balls and a strike with Corey Dickerson waiting next. Four single-run innings in this game so far. Rays with an opportunity here, though. 2 on and 2 out. Back-to-back hits from Robertson and Norris. On 3-1. Smith, it's a bouncing ball. That's through for a base hit. Robertson headed home, and the Rays have taken a 3-2 lead with 3 consecutive 2-out singles.
Well, Mallex Smith continues to pull the ball to the right side. 2nd hit that way. This one he's able to get by Miguel Cabrera. How about the Rays not giving up on this inning? And they've taken the lead. Michael Fulmer, that's all you can do. The head in the hands, it's out of your control. Tough to sit through.
Inning still going, 1st and 2nd, and it's Dickerson. Swats the first one foul. So Archer now in position to win this game.
Beneficiary of some well-timed hits here by the Rays. They eke out in front, looking to add to that lead. Looks like Chris's day is done.
Another than 2 on Dickerson. The Rays trying to end a 3-game slide. Third in the East right now, but only a game back of the 2nd wild card. Barely got a piece, stays alive.
How do you get a piece of that?
I don't
that's
know.
head high. That is a pitch. You talk about expanding a hitter's zone. That's a pitch that's up at the face, and he's able to get to it and spoil it. That takes some skill.
A guy like that has to drive you crazy as a pitcher, huh?
You're not kidding. Where do you go? How far do you have to expand the zone to get this guy out?
Down and away, and he took it. Inning started with a Souza walk. A pair of ground balls moved him up. Then 3 consecutive singles from 8, 9, and 1 in the order. Robertson, Norris, and Smith giving the Rays the lead again at 3-2.
Same thing that we talked about with the Tigers offense, the Rays offense, much the same. They're very similar when you look at their numbers up and down. And it's getting production all the way through. Everybody a threat, everybody can help his team out.
Another 1-2. Takes it low, 2-2. Corey Dickerson's at-bats continue to be impressive, spoiling pitches that he can't put in play and taking ones that he can't spoil. Stumpf getting ready in the Tigers bullpen. 3-2, Tampa Bay in front, 7th inning. Finally down swinging. But the Rays retake the lead. 3 consecutive 2-out singles. First Robertson to tie it, then Norris to move a runner up, and Smith to put the Rays in front. Back and forth we go. Rays in front 3-2 to the bottom of the 7th. Grip the moment, sponsored by Falcon Tires, the official tire of Major League Baseball. More solid defense from Jose Iglesias, taking a hit away from Evan Longoria. A nice play after nice play this weekend for him.
And who else would it be? You're putting on a clinic.
Ready to lead off this inning against the new Tampa Bay pitcher. It's Jumbo Diaz.
And he is on for the 24th time. That ERA 4.91, 19 strikeouts, but also 12 walks. He's going to start out here at the bottom of the Tiger lineup.
Tigers had taken a short-lived lead on a Cabrera home run. Bottom of the 6th inning, but the Rays getting 2 back in the top of the 7th, and now Diaz trying to begin to protect it. But this is the part of the game, like you talked about, where the Rays have had their biggest issues. That bridge from the starting rotation, which has been good, to Alex Colomé in the 9th.
And so this is where Kevin Cash, Jim Hickey, you put the minds together, you start looking at matchups. Who matches up well with what they do against what Jumbo Diaz does very well, and that's what you get. So we'll see. Fastball slider.
Ball one on a slider. The Rays have this 3-game losing streak. They have had leads in all 3 of those games.
Well, that's been a theme for this team all season long. They have the most losses after blown leads than anybody in the game.
It's a strike and it's 1-1. Second outing this weekend for Diaz on Thursday, 1 1/3. Gave up 1 hit, but no runs.
And so Kevin Cash, you're going to ride the hot hand. And you can see by the velocity, the break on the slider, he's got good stuff.
Ground ball, diving play at third by Longoria, and he takes one away from Iglesias to return the favor.
Well, listen, he was watching the grip the moment too. Said, you know what, turnabout is fair play. You got me, I'll get you. Glove side dive. Right into the heart of that glove, and then up with the throw over to Morrison. A very nice play by Evan Longoria, returning the favor.
A big first out for Diaz with the top of the order now coming up. With a little help from Longoria. Kinzer knocked in a run with a double in the 5th. That tied it at 1. Jumbo's ready. Ball 1. Former Cincinnati Red, Jumbo Diaz. Shane Green, inverted starter, has turned into one of the biggest pieces in the Tigers bullpen. Kinzer pops one off of the hands foul, and it's 1-1. Tigers back-to-back years missing the postseason after winning 4 consecutive division titles. Missed out on that second wild card last year by just 2 games. It's the deficit they find themselves in right now. It's what everybody finds himself in right now, or within at least. 13 of the 15 teams in the American League are within 2.5 games of a playoff spot.
I mean, the very definition of parity.
Sure.
Everybody in it, everybody trying to figure out how to break out.
Kinsler hits a fly ball to left. Corey Dickerson towards the corner. That thing carrying well onto the track for the second out. Crushed home runs and dominated your very own Derby competition in the official MLB.com Home Run Derby game on the App Store and Google Play. Swing for the fences against more than 10 million players from around the world as your favorite Derby All-Star. Download Home Run Derby free today. There's a chance to be a fun Home Run Derby this year, huh? If we can maybe get Aaron Judge in it, Cody Bellinger in it.
Yeah.
Some young stars.
Think about some of the leverage that they create and how far they can launch. Got to have some stamina too. You're out there for a while, or it can be.
Yeah, if you do it right.
That's the whole point.
Bellinger hit another today, his 19th. Leads baseball since he was called up in late April. Avila's 2 for 3. The Tiger catcher trying to keep the 7th inning alive against Diaz, who pours in a strike. Oh, 2.
A couple of filthy sliders here by Jumbo Diaz. Continues to throw the ball well, as you mentioned, threw the ball well a couple nights ago.
Takes this one in the dirt. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Two and two.
Not biting now, trying to work his way back into this count. The Tigers have some dangerous hitters here. 1 at the plate, a couple more in the hole with some big pop.
Diaz got ahead 0-2, and it's now full.
Sevilla putting up a pretty good fight here, taking some close pitches. That pitch well off the plate, but now you get yourself to a point where you were in a big hole, and now Diaz is going to be forced to come out over the plate, at least in theory.
Here it comes. He walks him. The Tigers put the tying run on with 2 out.
What an at-bat with no action whatsoever. A pretty good at-bat there by Alex Avila. Get Cabrera here to the plate with 2 outs.
Third time Avila's reached today, and Cabrera, who homered his last time, has a chance here. They can do that again to put the Tigers back in front.
He has so much power the other way. The Rays have seen that happen twice in this series. You've got to be careful with them, and these are the type of situations, you know, later in the game when things are starting to come down the pike and the game starts to be put on the line. That concentration level goes up, and you got to make some tough pitches against him.
Hit a fastball out last time. He gets a slider here and misses. Strike 1. All of his numbers across the board, the worst of his career on this date. Although he's shown signs here in June, hitting above 340 this month. 2 of his 6 home runs, or 2 of his 7 home runs on the season coming this weekend. Pokes one off the end of the bat, and he's in an 0-2 hole.
You know, and he's one of those hitters too that there's so much history there with him that he could have numbers that are down. You completely disregard him. You really disregard him because you're like, it's Miguel Cabrera. At any point in time, he's capable of doing damage. I don't care, you know, how far the numbers are down from the norm. He still carries a lot of reputation with him.
Chris Archer found that out the hard way. Strikes out swinging here as Diaz got him on a slider that bounced. 3 on FS1 is sponsored by Supercuts. Save time checking online with a mobile app or at supercuts.com. And by Experian, credit isn't just a score, it's a skill. Experian, be better at credit. Little Caesars Arena set to open in September. They're going to christen it how they should in Detroit with a Kid Rock concert, Brian.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yes, if you're going to do it right.
Got a few of those lined up already. Shane Green comes in. He has been the best piece of this Tigers bullpen this year.
Question about it. ERA 176. You can see the whip just over 1. So limit base runners. You limit opportunities. 35 strikeouts and just over 30 innings of work.
Evan Longoria goes after the first pitch. Strike one. Green, a converted starter. Over from the New York Yankees. Struggled. Got shuttled back and forth between here and the minors at one point, and then moved into the bullpen and has thrived in that role.
Isn't it funny how sometimes it takes a little while before you find your niche? Some guys react very well to going to the bullpen. You look at the Rays closer. Alex Colomé came up as a starter and then all of a sudden converted to the bullpen. Injury to Brad Boxberger at the beginning of 2016, steps into the closer's role and has not looked back, and says he prefers the bullpen because it keeps his head in the game and he knows that every day he comes to the ballpark, he's got a chance to play.
Bouncing ball at third. Romine. Longoria is the first out of the 8th.
If the score stays the same, you're going to see him very soon.
Logan Morrison now. 0 for 2 with a walk. Green pitches 1-0. That one misses as well. 2 balls, no strikes.
Well, Green's going to come at you. Fastball, slider, cutter for the most part. You'll see guys do that a lot. You know, the cutter, you keep almost a stiff wrist and keep it on the same plane. You get on top of it, sometimes with the same grip. And then it becomes more of a slider with a little bit more depth. Change the slope.
You're talking about Colomé. We showed him loosening down there. He hasn't pitched in 6 days. He's gone a couple of innings in a single stint twice this year. Do you consider giving him the ball for 6 outs?
You would love to consider that. I mean, I don't know if Kevin Cash will do that. You would certainly think that if he was going to be coming in right away, that he'd be on the mound throwing right now. This inning could be over before you know it. But certainly not out of the realm of possibility. He's been a guy that Cash has leaned on from time to time for the 4-out save. And all of a sudden you get into a little bit of trouble, and in that 8th inning he comes in, cleans it up, goes out there for the 9th. I think 6 outs may be a little bit too much to ask at this point, especially with the quick turnaround tomorrow. But it doesn't mean you won't see him in the 8th.
Morrison and the Rays trying to get him some insurance. He's worked it full. Jake Faria, Buck Farmer, the pitching matchup in the finale tomorrow. Final time these teams will meet up in 2017. Green to Morrison with a 3-2. And he struck him out.
Well, he goes with that slider, and it ends up being a backup slider working away from Logan Morrison. They want that pitch middle in. It ends up on the outside corner, foul tipped into the glove of Avila for out number 2.
Souza started last inning with a walk. It was key. Wound up scoring the tying run on a Daniel Robertson RBI single. He then scored the go-ahead run when Malik Smith came through with 2 out. Inside, ball 1. Ripped to left center field. Long run for Upton, and he'll get there. Shane Green executes a 1-2-3-8. See if the Tigers have a rally in them, down 3-2. Rays in front of the Tigers 3-2, stringing together 3 consecutive 2-out singles in the 7th to take the lead. And Jumbo Diaz to face J.D. Martinez with the heart of the Tigers order. Strike 1, challenged him at 97.
J.D. Martinez, that swing right there, trying to tie this ball game up. No margin for error for Jumbo Diaz.
The 0-1, foul tipped into the mitt, so after the fastball in the upper 90s, he breaks off his slider.
I'll tell you, he's been getting very good depth on that slider here in his outing. Same thing from a couple of nights ago. That's why Kevin Cash elects to go to Jumbo in this situation.
Going fastball on 0-2. Missed badly. 98, ball 1.
It's an overthrow. That's where you're really trying to gear up, and your mechanics get a little wobbly.
Justin Wilson for if the Tigers can get a lead here. Rodriguez otherwise. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The next one. Martinez down swinging on a backup slider. Had one to hit and missed for out number 1.
It's been a popular pitch here this afternoon. You see how effective it's been, trying to go down and away, and that ball just backs up on him. Slider spin, moving in, 1 out.
Joe Davis, Brian Anderson, Comerica Park in Detroit. Tampa Bay in front of the Tigers 3-2. And for those of you looking for NASCAR Camping World Truck Series qualifying from Madison, Illinois, it's presently airing on the Fox Sports Go app and at foxsportsgo.com. We'll join it right here on FS1 when this one finishes up. The Rays are hoping that's relatively soon. Tigers trying to come from behind. Justin Upton behind 0-1. There's another backup slider. This one misses though, and it's 1-1. Well, this is not the part of the order you want to be getting into a habit of throwing those backup sliders against.
Not at all. Too much power potential. Upton, who leads the team, leads the Tigers in home runs. And then you got the speedy Presley behind him.
1-2.
You get to these high leverage situations coming out of the bullpen, and you're going close to max effort on every pitch, especially when you have a lead like this. A 1-run lead, a guy at the plate that can change that with one swing of the bat.
It's some big home runs for the Tigers this year. Takes a high fastball and evens the count at 2-2.
No chase on the heater. You start to think about that slider. You change a hitter's eye level, 1-2, and all of a sudden it's up and away. He takes it, and you think about the slider right off of that pitch with that good depth. Really concentrate on getting out in front and try to bury it down and away. We saw Archer do that to Upton.
Threw it, fouled it. Stays 2-2.
And that's where you got to credit Upton. That slider, he did get down in the zone. Got some depth to it, and Upton's able to spoil it off. That's where you really see a hitter. The battle starts now, and those close pitches, those tough pitches, you don't want to take it and go down looking, so you're swinging, you're fouling it off, and you're hoping for one more backup that stays middle.
Seen a few backup sliders from Diaz. 3-2 game in the bottom of the 8th with the Rays in front, trying to snap a 3-game losing streak. A streak during which they've blown leads in all 3 games. Diaz to Upton with a 2-2. Sharp slider drilled to short and by Beckham. Upton taken off for second, and he'll get in there safely. The Tigers have the tying run in scoring position with 1 out in the 8th.
Well, this ball was hit very hard. It comes right up on Upton off the heel of that glove, and then Corey Dickerson coming in trying to barehand that baseball to keep Justin Upton at first base or have a play at him at second base if he continues to go. But with that ball being elusive to his throwing hand, Upton gets in there easily and cashes out to get Diaz.
And Colomé ready to come in, looking for 5 outs in a 1-run game. Alex Colomé having one heck of a season for Tampa Bay and thrown into the fire here. The bottom of the 8th inning with 1 out. The Tigers placing the tying run in scoring position.
18 out of 21 in saves. The ERA just over 2, and Kevin Cash can be afforded this luxury to bring in Colomé to get what he hopes are 5 outs because of the fact that, like you said, Joe, he's not pitched in 6 days.
That's ball 1 on Presley.
Colomé, a guy that wants to be out on that mound as frequently as possible. 6 days must seem like an eternity. I feel like a starter again.
That's how he came up through the system as one of the top starting pitching prospects in the game. 2 balls, no strikes.
Well, he gets it done mainly with the fastball that'll sit in the mid-90s. A good slider off of that. Looks like Nick Castellanos in the on-deck circle. You're going to see him. First things first.
Colomé's gotten at least 5 outs 3 times this year. Here's his 2-0. Down the middle for a strike. In those times, though, he's given up runs in all 3 instances. A blown save, a loss, and then a win where he was bailed out. Tying run at second, 2-1. He's fouled back, and it's 2-2. Presley 1 for 3 today.
Look at those outfielders. A lot of ground to cover, but playing very shallow, especially when you're talking about Malik Smith in center and certainly Corey Dickerson in left. Trying to take away anything blooping in center field or into right field. And no fear of the ball getting hit over your head.
Full count. Upton with a hustle double, it was ruled. Representing the tying run in the bottom of the 8th inning. Alex Presley with 1 gone. Colomé, 28 years old, out of the Dominican Republic. Now in his 5th major league season, his 3rd one as a full-time member of the big league roster. The payoff. Presley hits it foul. We'll do it again. Both teams getting a single run in the 5th after Fulmer and Archer traded zeros over the first 4 innings. Miguel Cabrera putting the Tigers in front with a solo homer on the first pitch of the 6th, but the Rays getting 2 in the 7th, and that's where we stand now. Colomé's payoff. Got him swinging for the 2nd out.
Boy, Alex Colomé saving the best for last. That breaking ball down and in. And we saw Chris Archer go that route with Alex Presley a couple of times. And Colomé, his best slider of the afternoon, picks up a big 2nd out. 1 more to get. And it won't be easy.
Nick Castellanos pinch hitting here. He has gone hot lately. Hits in 13 of his last 14, hitting above 300 during that stretch. And hitting for some power as well. Upton at second in a 1-run game. 2 gone in the 8th inning. Colomé comes home. And a cue shot foul, strike 1.
Castellanos had a big night last night. A couple of hits, drove in 4. Talk about that hot stretch that he's had.
Checking the cup of that bat.
When you get a little bit too far out in front of an off-speed pitch with the cup end, it'll splinter. Looks like that's what happened right there.
Castellanos still only 25 years old. He had a breakout season for the Tigers last year. Some tough luck over the first month or so of this season, but as those balls have started to fall in, the numbers have gone up. Finally something to show for those good swings. Upton at second, 2 gone. That's a ball at 1-1.
Yeah, he's got that similar approach at the plate, similar size of J.D. Martinez. Could be able to create some leverage, drive the ball with authority, stand nice and tall at the plate.
Upton good speed off second as the 1-1 flies home, and Castellanos looks at a borderline strike. Nicely placed by Colomé.
And you've got to figure that Alex Colomé is going to stay right there. This pitch, another little slider, subtle, down and away. Castellanos a little bit too far, and now with the count 1-2, you can afford to live out there a couple of more. Make Castellanos beat you the other way. That's how they have him played in the outfield. And Alex Smith shaded over towards right center.
The 1-2. Blocked down by Norris. Count evens up 2-2.
Did you see right before he delivered that pitch, Derek Norris was fainting as he was going to sit up in. Maybe you got the runner out at second base in case they're giving signs to location. Derek Norris kind of starts to set up in and then pops out away. Watch where Derek Norris is right here. I'm going to call the pitch. Now I'm going to come in here. Yeah, see, we're going to come in. We're going to come in. Nope, pop out there late. But all the little games within the games. It's pretty fascinating.
Game on the line here. Bottom of the 8th inning. 3-2 Tampa Bay. Upton at second with 2 gone. Colomé to Castellanos with a 2-2. Hit to third and stopped by Longoria. It was hit hard, but Longoria gloved it and finished off the Tigers in the 8th. Leads on to the 9th inning. The can't miss event of the summer hitting Miami when baseball's biggest stars take the field for the All-Star game July 11th only on Fox. Either one of these teams with a player that's currently in position to start the All-Star game. Francisco Rodriguez has been to his fair share of Midsummer Classics. Won't be headed to this one though with those numbers. Even though he's figured it out some recently, it has not been a good year for the former closer.
No, just over 50% in the save category. ERA 6.35. Gave up a home run earlier in this series to Steven Souza Jr. A late home run that allowed the Rays to tie the game that set up the heroics by Miguel Cabrera.
Starts Rasmus with ball one. Castellanos, after pinch hitting, stays in the game at third.
I like the V-neck jersey.
Yeah, he's deep V.
Deep V with no undershirt.
All right.
70s.
Speaking of Miami, right? It's kind of a Miami look. Beach look.
It's aggressive. I'll give him that.
That's one word for it. Rodriguez to Rasmus with a 1-1. And a pop-up. Points it out. Into the shade come three of the four infielders, and it is Castellanos. Well, even though Rodriguez has been better lately, he still lost his closer spot. Justin Wilson taking over, and made headlines this week, Rodriguez did, when he publicly talked about the fact that he didn't think that that was communicated very well, that him losing that role was communicated real well by Brad Ausmus.
And that can be dicey. You know, that's one of those situations where, you know, your knee jerk is to say if you don't feel like it's been communicated very well, then you go in yourself, you handle it behind closed doors quietly. A lot of times when you go out to the press, things have a tendency to blow up just a little bit. And that's what happened in this situation. But you also learn from it too. I don't care how long that you've been in the game, played the game, you learn from those mistakes and you move on. And you know, Brad Ausmus has come out and said, I cannot lean on only Shane Green and Alex Wilson to get me to Justin Wilson. I'm going to need a third guy, and that third guy is Francisco Rodriguez. So he's still going to have a prominent role in this bullpen, and he's been showing signs of coming out of it.
Ball on a strike on Beckham. 7-hitter for the Rays is twice grounded out today, sandwiching a walk in the 5th. Tigers have 8, 9, and 1 due up in the bottom of the 9th inning against Colome, who will try and execute his first save of more than 1 1/3. 3 opportunities he's had, all 3 unsuccessful. The 1-2. Chopper through. Beckham with a base hit.
Once again, you start to look over your score sheet and the Rays making some moves at the bottom of their order here this afternoon. And Tim Beckham, a 1-out hit. Rays would obviously like a little bit of a cushion here.
Yeah, the Rays have had 12 base runners today. 8 of them have come from the bottom half of the order. All 3 runs have come from down there. And the man at the plate now, Daniel Robertson, produced the first 2 of those runs. RBI single in the 5th, RBI single in the 7th. Out of the 10 runs the Rays have scored in this series, Robertson has had a hand in 7 of them, driving in 6, scoring 1.
Daniel Robertson getting an increase in playing time with the injury to Brad Miller, primarily getting a chance to go out and play a lot of second base. The Rays will move him all over the infield, seeing him out at shortstop when Tim Beckham had a couple of days off. Occasionally will spell Evan Longoria at third base. And really has shown the ability to play solid defense. It sometimes borders on spectacular defense at each of those three positions, having to move in between all three of them. And the bat has started to come alive as he's gone up the middle the other way a little bit more.
Yeah, that solid defense. That's why it was so surprising to see him boot that ball in the opener of this series. It cost the Rays, in some ways, the game.
Well, and what you love about that, as far as a Rays fan goes, and even when you're talking about your coaching staff, is his accountability. You know, he was a guy that after that happened, there's a tendency to maybe go run and hide. And Daniel Robertson came right out there, put himself right in front of all the cameras and all the media members and said, "What do you got for me?" You know, I mean, he owned up to it, said, "Well, see you tomorrow. We're going to get better." And really, when you look at him defensively for the Rays this entire season, that was the first real hiccup. And you know, even one of those plays, his feet are coming out from underneath him. Tough to blame him on that one.
Rodriguez strikes him out. 2 gone.
Now you got to contend with the changeup, and you see the depth that Francisco Rodriguez is still able to get on that pitch. I mean, it just rolls right off. You know, that's a pitch that you can have confidence in to throw out over the heart of the plate. You know, a lot of times with these off-speed pitches, putting guys away, you're looking for the corner just off. You've got a changeup or an off-speed pitch with that much depth. You could throw it out over the heart of the plate, elicit the swing, and it's still not going to matter.
Derek Norris. Only 4 for 31 in June now, but his latest hit was a big one. Part of that string of 3 straight singles in the 7th. The 3rd of which brought home the go-ahead run. That was from Mallex Smith. Swatted to right center field. Presley on the move. He'll get there and send us to the bottom of the 9th. 8, 9, and 1 coming up for Detroit. 1 for the tie, 2 for the win. So here we go. Last chance for the Tigers with Mikey Matuk leading off the inning, down 3-2 against Alex Colomé, trying to finish off a 5-out save for Tampa Bay.
Well, you talk about earning a save, and that would be the case. As you mentioned, he's not been able to do that 3 prior occasions.
Matuk has home run power, 4 of them this season in limited playing time. Hits the first pitch softly to third, but he's going to reach. It was a tough bounce for Longoria, and the Tigers have the tying run on to start the 9th.
No question about it. You know, Evan Longoria charging this ball as hard as he can, and he gets the glove out away from his body because it is going to be such a tough hop and a scoop. And that ball right off the edge, he's not able to make the play, and the Tigers with the leadoff man aboard.
And Iglesias to the plate.
So many things to think about here. Does he try to lay one down? You're playing for the tie.
Is the 9-hitter, can handle the bat some. Although he's also been swinging it particularly well the last few weeks.
Got to have that feel as a manager.
Now he squares. Lays it down nicely. Colomé gets it out of his glove late. Iglesias is safe.
And I think the Rays are going to want to take a look. Daniel Robertson immediately looked into the dugout. And Kevin Cash, he wants to take a look because that was a bang-bang play. Looked like they may have gotten him. We'll take a look and see. A little slow coming out of the glove, but yes, that ball got there in time. This will be overturned, and probably overturned quickly. That ball into the interior of the glove before the foot came down. Great look right here. Clearly out.
So it shouldn't take long. When they do get it figured out, the Tigers will have the tying run at second with 1 out for the top of the order and Ian Kinsler.
That didn't take Daniel Robertson very long to immediately go into that dugout and say, hey, listen, we got him. We got him. You just get a feel for those plays.
Fans here at Comerica are seeing the replay on the video board, and they know what's about to happen. More groaning than cheering when they see the moment of truth. He is...
Come on, Jerry.
Out. But it is a successful sacrifice, pumping Matuk into scoring position.
That ball right over the shoulder. Daniel Robertson got to maintain concentration, and you can see it right inside that glove. Foot not yet on the bag. Easy call.
So Kinsler. So many big hits throughout his career. Matuk the tying run. Kinsler's knocked in one with a double today. Colomé deals. Kinsler swings, hits a fly ball lazily to left. And Colomé and the Rays find themselves just like that, 1 out away from this game ending.
Ian Kinsler not at all happy. I mean, when he swung it, he got a fastball to hit, popped it up, and immediately the head goes down because he knew that was the pitch I was looking for, and he knew he didn't get it.
Fraction of an inch on that barrel.
That's all it takes.
But as hard as he hit it, this game could have been over. Falls on the shoulders of Avila. Matuk started the inning with an infield single. Moved to second on a sacrifice. He is still there after the flyout. Colomé deals, and Avila can't hold off. Strike 1. It's been a career year for the Tigers catcher in his second stint here in Detroit. Trying to come through, but the Tigers down to their final chance.
Crowd started to get into it.
Nothing in 2. A sharp one from Colome puts him in a big hole.
Another slider with depth and velocity. And why would you expect anything else?
You go to it again?
Why not? Shown the ability to command it and repeat it, and you've got a hitter through the first 2 has not been able to lay off him.
Here comes an 0-2 in the dirt, and Kinsler takes third, which changes the dynamic here on the ability to use that slider.
Yes, it does. I was going to say, and with the runner at second, you're okay with that, throwing that slider. But now you saw that one he tried to backdoor it, and it was into the dirt. Nice block by Norris, but Montouk's able to get over to third base, and now you think about that slider in the dirt. Not as easy of a decision as you would think. But you got to trust your catcher and you got to trust your stuff if you go to it. Derek Norris has been good back there today, blocking balls.
Tigers down to their final strike. Montouk at third. The 1-2. Ripped to the right side and stopped off a bounce by Beckham. Colome slams the door, going 5 outs to get the save and a 3-2 Tampa Bay win.
Well, Colome did go back to the slider. He did not bounce it. He left it up just a little bit. Ball was hard hit, but he well positioned. The shift was there to take that base hit away and end this ball game.
Tigers got the leadoff man on, moved him into scoring position on a sacrifice, but stranded him at third to finish it. 3-2 the final score. Now we send you to the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series qualifying from Madison, Illinois.